Persians. That's Paul Manafort money. Now rich people are trying not to spend millions on something that they and their little dogs walk over. For some, a Persian rug is a family heirloom that they may have inherited over a few generations. For others, Persian rugs are a passion. Prospective collectors dream about owning their very first rug and then adding to the collection of these gorgeous creations. This is often where some would-be collectors come across the first obstacle, the high price of authentic Persian rugs. So why exactly do Persian rugs cost so much more than the contemporary counterparts? Here are 6 reasons as to why these rugs are so expensive. Handmade artistry. The best Persian rugs are made by hand from start to finish. Many of the designs are curved, which does not lend itself to typical, mass-produced machine weaving on a straight loom. The denser and compact the knots, the more distinct and vivid the pattern appears, giving the buyer a one-of-a-kind piece of home decor. To achieve this, however, the weaver spends hours making each knot by hand, one at a time. This adds to the cost of the rug. All natural materials. The best Persian rugs are made from natural materials, wool, silk, and cotton, and the dyes used to color the rugs are all natural and obtained from plant and vegetables native to the region. Persian rugs are environmentally friendly because everything they are made from is sustainable. The all-natural materials blend and wear down in a uniform manner, giving your Persian rug a one-of-a-kind aura that is unlike anything else. Age. Some of the most beautiful Persian rugs in the world are antiques that have been in families for generations. Because these pieces are considered artwork, the value of well-maintained Persian rugs increases many times over as they are cherished by art collectors and rug enthusiasts all over the world. Knotted by experts. The knotting technique to weave a Persian rug is difficult to master. It takes years of apprenticeship for these artisans to become masters in their field. The smaller and more densely the knots can be compacted per square inch, the more ornate the design can become. Because each authentic Persian rug must be handmade, the artist must be compensated accordingly. Investment pieces. If you truly have your heart set on a Persian rug, you need to bear in mind that, much like any piece of artwork or an antique, it is rare and unique. The colors, the knots, and the natural materials all culminate to make the rug you want truly and unequivocally yours. Region of manufacture. Where your rug comes from is just as important to its creation as to its price. Persian rugs are manufactured exclusively in villages scattered around the Persian region, which limits the pieces that are manufactured. You may be able to find similar looking rugs at a fraction of the price, but these are not authentic Persian rugs. They would most likely be look-alike pieces manufactured in other Oriental regions. The exclusivity that is associated with Persian rugs comes with a price. These are just some of the many factors that make up the price of a Persian rug. What's important to know is that the price is totally worth it when you consider that you can pass it down through generations where it will keep appreciating in value. Even in an increasingly expensive Manhattan, $3.5 million still pays for a lot like a 2,000 square foot apartment without south-facing light, and 12 years of private school for one of the children. But if you'd like to outfit the living room of that apartment with the very finest Persian carpet Jason Nazmiyal is selling out of his Midtown showroom, you'll need an additional $3.5 million. For decades, antique Persians, hand-knotted from silk and often taking years or even decades to produce, were the gold standard of floor coverings for the swank, the sine qua non of Oriental rugs. Then the market got flooded with fakes, tastes shifted, and people became aware that most of what they were being sold was as likely to return a profit as a decade-old flat-screen TV. That's why we don't really steer clients towards super expensive rugs anymore, said Brian Sawyer, an architect and interior designer whose clients include Madonna and Vera Wang. Most of the time, they wind up being more trouble than they're worth. In the Hamptons estate of the billionaire Ron Perelman, a flat-weave modernist Swedish design carpet with black and blue triangles that looks terrific near a Nakashima bench and a hanging called a sculpture. In the clothing designer Cynthia Rowley's West Village townhouse, a starburst geometric millennial pink carpet from the rug company. And in the colonial of the longtime Vogue eminence André Léon Talley, in White Plains, a floral print, 17th century French carpet known as an aubusson, which he bought from Sotheby's in 2014 during an auction of Bunny Mellon's precious collectibles. I selected it from the catalogue, Mr. Talley said. I knew it was going to be just the thing for my living room, which by the way has Truman Capote's famous Victorian sofa, with an exotic palm tree pattern. The current celebrity poster boy for the Persian rug set is Paul Manafort, but he may not be buying any for a while. In October, Mr. Manafort was charged by a federal grand jury with conspiracy and money laundering. He pleaded not guilty. One of the claims in the 30-page indictment involved a series of excursions to an antique rugs dealer based in Alexandria, VA, where Mr. Manafort is said to have spent $934,000 in 8 transactions between 2008 and 2010. It was a lot for someone to spend, even someone with $40 million in suspicious transactions, although there was something fitting about a man who had previously been described by one of his friends as the Count of Monte Cristo, spending so much on antediluvian decorations. I'm imagining a lot of gold-plated stuff and pseudo-tapestries, said Wendy Goodman, the design editor of New York Magazine. Needlepoint faux 14th century furniture and bath curtains in silk taffeta that the Manaforts were told was water repellent. What do you think the interior of the cars looked like? Was it sheer fur? In short order, reporters from the Weekly Standard and HuffPost identified J&J Oriental rugs as the likely location of Mr. Manafort's spree. J&J did not answer questions from the New York Times. That flummoxed the small network of high-end dealers who rely on a mix of cooperation and competition when dealing with the biggest collectors, and who expressed utter disbelief that Mr. Manafort had spent this amount at what was basically a neighborhood store.